They're just getting acclimated. You know what that means, acclimated.
He builds the wall the way he built Trump Towers. He'll be using illegal immigrant labor to do it.
I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe.
What's happening, guys? What's going on? What do you say we do it live? Let's do it live. What's happening? Appreciate you guys for joining me. I'm Boston Brian. Welcome back to Blunt Politics. Hope you guys are having a wonderful night. Really appreciate you spending some time and energy with me dealing with all of this political nonsense that we're dealing with. I think we're going on, day 30 now of the government shutdown. No employees getting paid. You know, Donald Trump trying to rub shoulders with the military, acting like he was in fucking Vietnam on the front lines himself. Just ridiculous shit going on. But I appreciate you guys for hopping over this way. What's up, JD? What's up, Nance? Nance, good to hear that your cataract surgery went well today. That's good to hear. What's up, Wes? Appreciate you, brother. What's up, Gamer? What's going on, guys? Hey, Rocks, thank you for your services. What's up, Julie, El Rondo, Jackie, Carol? Hi, guys. How are you? Bean Dip, what's happening? Good day. What's up, Dame? Cool Breeze, Kit, Jackie, how are you guys? Bean Dip. Oh, shiza, you guys crack me up. Cool Breeze, let's go. Member for 16 months. Congratulations. Shout out to you. Ton of ways that you guys can contribute. Ton of ways that you guys can, enter into that old chat there as well. You got Venmo up in the corner. You can send a super chat, super sticker. There's patreon.com/Boston Brian, and you can sign up for a YouTube membership just underneath me for $2.99 for the month. So now that the self-promotional bullshit is out of the way, what do you say we dive into a little bit of the craziness? Well, I guess the first thing we should probably dive into is, I think I discovered, maybe this is my guess as to why we were unable to get Kat on the show yesterday. And again, this is just my speculation, but the fact that she's been indicted federally by the Department of Justice might have something to do with it. This is a video she put out, I want to say yesterday. What's today's date? I don't even know what today's date is. No, it was today. At 9:55 a.m., where it says, again, I have been charged in a federal indictment sought by the Department of Justice. This political prosecution is an attack on all of our First Amendment rights. I'm not backing down, and we're going to win. So I just wanted to play this, give her the opportunity to speak her piece on this one, see what she has to say. And again, probably giving us a little insight as to why we were unable to get her on the show. But let's see what she has to say here. This is crazy. Obviously, weaponization of the of the government. I mean, anything you can name and list: fascism, dictatorial nature, authoritarianism. This is what it is.
9th District of Illinois, and the Department of Justice is charging 6 people, including myself, with federal crimes for exercising our First Amendment rights near ICE's Broadview Processing Center. This is a political prosecution and a gross attempt to silence dissent, a right protected under the First Amendment. This case is a major push by the Trump administration to criminalize protest and punish anyone who speaks out against them. That's why I'm going to fight these unjust charges, but I need your help to do it. As I and others have exercised our First Amendment rights, ICE has hit, dragged, thrown, shot with pepper balls.
And fucking they should know better, the DOJ, because, it's just going to give her more, it's just going to amplify, her campaign more. It's going to give her the ability to do things like this. It's going to, give her the ability to fundraise, make videos off the back of this, but, this clear injustice that we're seeing now. I mean, it's obviously not going to go anywhere, because what the hell did she do? I mean, because she was out there with a bunch of other protesters. I mean, I don't understand what the actual charges are. Maybe she gets deeper into it, but it doesn't make any sense. And again, I think this is it's going to backfire in their face, the fact that they're trying to do this. And it's going to be like, what's that? I forget this all the time. You guys help me in the chat. What's that moment where the lady, I can't think of the lady's name ever, where she didn't want to talk about her house, and when she didn't talk about a house, fucking her house became the main story. What's the name? Hit me with it in the chat. I always forget it. There's some effect to that. I know there is. Streisand? Is it Streisand? Is it Streisand effect? Is that what it is? Forgive me. I'm exhausted. Forgive me. I've been going through content all day. Here we go.
Tear gassed hundreds of protesters simply because we had the gall to say that masked men coming into our communities, abducting our neighbors, and terrorizing us cannot be our new normal. And because Chicago doesn't back down from bullies in masks who tear gas our neighborhoods, this administration has resorted to weaponizing the federal justice system to scare us into silence. But we're not going to be silent. The Trump administration wants you to be afraid of speaking out against it and its anti-democratic power grabs. And there are plenty of reasons to be afraid right now, but we have to overcome that fear. This case targets our rights to protest, speak freely, and associate with anyone who disagrees with the government. And while we have seen the unhinged and unlawful tactics this administration has used against the American public, it's important to remember they're doing this because they are scared. They are wrong. And they know they are on the wrong side of history. We cannot diminish ourselves in the face of these attacks. That's why we have to unite and stand up for humanity, our rights, and everyone terrorized by Trump's lawless secret police. You'll be hearing regular updates directly from me about this case and how we can use our constitutional rights to resist authoritarianism.
So obviously we'll be keeping up on that. And again, I don't know if it was something she just, found out about at the time or if it was something that was enacted at the time. I'm not sure, but, clearly something a little bit more important to tend with. But, that just kind of brings us into the authoritarianism and, the power grab that she continues to talk about. Not so much with ICE, but now they're trying to, if you've heard this one, now they're trying to say that anything that Joe Biden signed with this so-called auto pen is null and void. Any pardon, any bill, anything. They're trying to, Comer, these idiots, they're trying to just, anything that he signed with an auto pen is null and void. And I'd be really fucking, interested to see how many times Donald Trump has used a similar routine, a similar method in order to sign. I know we've seen him sign those stupid fucking things with the Sharpies in front of the paper, but I guarantee that wasn't until he started talking about the old auto pen. But this is their new shtick that they're trying to figure out. Now, how can they wipe out Joe Biden's presidency entirely? How can they put these people that Joe Biden pardoned back into the crosshairs, right? Put the bullseye back on these people's, backs so that they can be gone after, even after Joe Biden pardoned them. You know what I mean? And this is Dan Ball. We don't have to play this too much. And then, just to get into some more craziness, I don't know if you've seen, I think there's another Charlie Kirk funeral happen at the University of Mississippi somewhere. And then apparently J.D. Vance is speaking at that as well. And then somebody we haven't talked about in a long time. We haven't talked about Jimmy. Oh, thank you, Nancy. I appreciate that very much. My friends and my family call me that. Yeah, I'm a nickname. I'm a nickname person. I'm big on giving people nicknames. Nance was what I called, one of the people that I knew growing up in my town. Her name was Nancy, so I called her Nance. Just reminded me of it, so that you're stuck with it now. But I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the 10. Shout out to you, Nance. I appreciate it. But yeah, we haven't talked about this guy in a long time. Jimmy Dore, at one time, actually represented himself as a progressive, right? Somebody on the left side of the aisle. Now is just he's just lost and floating out in the wilderness now. He doesn't know what side he belongs to. He doesn't know who he wants to call out. And this time he's hopping on he's since hopped on the Candace Owens bandwagon with the whole Charlie Kirk murder situation. Now he's even gone as far as he's calling out Donald Trump Jr. For apparently contradicting himself over something about Charlie's death. I haven't seen it yet, but I wanted to dive into it with you guys and see what MAGA on MAGA violence we could dive into on that one. And then there's this we should probably look into at least a little bit here with President Trump on his way to South Korea. He had a couple embarrassing moments there. And then we had Bernie Sanders, both House and Senate Democrats came out to speak today against, or at least, informing the American public about what's going on with the SNAP benefits and the 42 million people, 42 million Americans that, are going to be in line and having trouble, putting food on the table, because Donald Trump refuses to use the emergency power and the funds that are already set up and in place, again, to fund the SNAP benefits. But it's important that the Democrats get ahead of the ridiculous Republican rhetoric and propaganda talking points in this bullshit. And that's exactly what they did today. Whether it was Ed Markey, whether it was Bernie, whether it was people in the House or in the Senate, they both came out and kind of laid it on the line and kind of just shot it to the American people straight, just what they need to do. It wasn't any politician coded bullshit. It was, listen, they have the ability to do it. It has nothing to do with the shutdown. He's basically legally obligated to do this, and he's choosing not to. They are choosing not to, right? And then we have obviously one of our good buddies, one of our good pals, Tim Pool, has actually gone on record here to call out the I've Had It podcast and listen, look at the label of this. Look at the label of this. Look at what it's called. Liberals call for killing conservatives, warns Democrats must get on board. Now, we watch a good amount of the I've Had It ladies here. We don't watch all of the videos, but we've seen a good few. And I've yet to see anywhere where they're calling for the killing of anybody. So I'll be interested to see as to what Tim Fool is actually deeming as I guess rhetoric that he says is going after conservatives. So that's probably something we'll dive into. What else do we got? We got a message from Zelensky. We got a little role reversal going on in a few areas inside of Ukraine, where it seems like the Russians not have made a push, but kind of have Ukrainians in a tough position. I think it was Kupiansk and the Pokrovsk area that we've been talking about as well. So kind of the back and forth situation that we've been seeing. Not only that, let's see if I can put this on. So yeah, not only that, but Russia struck a children's hospital in Kherson. What else do we got? This is Trump in South Korea. We don't have to dig into that too much. And this is Trump again, I think, in South Korea. We don't have to dig into that too much, but just in case we need something to laugh at and make fun of, we have that lined up. All right, so let me see if I can get rid of this. Let me put this on the screen. I'm not even sure how much of this is going to be worth watching because of how big of a joke this is. But again, this is OAN. That's the first clue right there to figure out that it's a joke. And again, the title is Biden auto pen signatures, quote, null and void. Rep. Andy Ogles on Real America with Dan Ball. Probably not even going to make it to that part, but let's see what old Danny Balsky has to say here and how he's trying to, again, wipe out the pardon signed by the president of the United States, whether by fucking auto pen, whether he signed it with his toes, whether he wrapped his fucking dick around the pen and signed it that way. I don't think it really matters at this point. You know what I mean? It just really doesn't matter. It's, it's probably the easier way to, instead of having to sign, 2,000, 3,000 different documents. Who knows? I'm sure it's fucking, I'm not like an auto pen historian, but I'm sure it's not out of the ordinary. Let me know in the chat if you guys are more, up to date on the use of the auto pen. I right hand up, not really too familiar with it, but I just know it's probably something not too out of the ordinary here. But let's see what old Danny Balsky's got to say. I'm sure he's going to, again, try to say we're going to wipe out the last 4 years, the last Democratic president here because of the pen they fucking used. All right, let's roll.
Null and void. That's the official statement from the House Oversight Committee regarding feckless Joe Biden's flagrant abuse of the auto pen and the documents signed by the device.
Now, again, I'm curious, what's the actual scandal? Like, what's the problem they have with it? Is the problem that he used it at all? Or is it the problem that he used it too much? Like he relied on, like, I'm a little all right, why don't we do this so I don't feel like a moron here? All right. An automatic pen or auto pen, informally known as the signing machine, is a mechanical device used for the replicated signing of a human signature. U.S. Treasury Department check signing machine operated by J.L. Summers, 1918. So clearly something really new, something that, So what is an auto pen there? This can't be is this what the fuck they're talking about? This is what they used?
House Republicans today released their report on former President.
Hold on. Is this what I'm kind of confused? Is that what it is? Has anybody seen it before? Like I said, I'm not a huge auto pen connoisseur. The auto pen, how robotic pen has changed in the presidential history. The auto pen was patented in U.S. 1803. Fucking hell. And Jefferson wasted no time acquiring and using the machine. Oh, great. So, I mean, if assholes and people we shouldn't, respect, like, Thomas Jefferson were using it, of course we should call out Joe Biden for using it, right? What? 1800. That's about all I need to know. 1803. I thought it was going to be some like, technological use of the fucking signature that is just kind of like slapped on things. I mean, this seems to me like it actually takes a bit of skill. It's almost like it'd be cool to watch. Like, I wouldn't mind watching that thing sign my signature all day either. I could see where Joe Biden would get a kick out of that. Probably kept him busy for hours. All right, let's see what else I gotta say.
Did Joe even know that they were using it? I don't know.
Do you have any evidence to suggest that he didn't? Because that would be very, prominent to the case, prominent to your argument here, whether or not you had any evidence to suggest that he was completely unaware that his signature was being used on and signed to different documents. Has Joe Biden come out since? Has Jill Biden come out since and be like, hey, we have since found thousands and thousands of documents that I don't remember signing, that I don't recall signing, and I know I would never sign, but has my signature, because I don't recall that moment happening. But, who knows? Dan Bald lives in an alternate reality. So maybe in the reality they live in, that's kind of what happened.
Committee releasing a lengthy report earlier today detailing findings about Biden's frequent use of the auto pen to sign official documents, as his ability to function independently in office, as we all witnessed, so did the world.
Now, am I crazy to think that Trump has also used this? The lazy bastard. It'd be crazy to think Trump. This is just a stupid argument to begin with. Again, I don't know if they're is there a complaint that is there a complaint that he used it at all, or that he used it too much? I'm still confused. And then you got this right here. Trump admits to using AutoPen after declaring Biden's pardons void due to AutoPen. I mean, it's quite literally only a title that could be written under the fucking Trump administration. Since Trump has come into politics, fucking headlines like this usually haven't been written. They don't get written. Trump admits to using AutoPen after declaring Biden's pardons void due to AutoPen. Again, wrap your fucking head around that one. Wrap your head around that one. Something he clearly admits to using himself. So again, apparently it's the number of uses. It's the number of times he used it is the problem.
Declined, even though they lied about it. It finds gaps in the chain of custody, of Biden's decision binder for executive actions, with some signatures and approval using the auto pen not properly documented or authorized. This highlights serious concerns over, of course, those clemency actions that he took in the last couple of days. Wasn't it like 2,200 people?
Right. So again, all the more reason why you'd probably use the auto pen. Instead of having the president of the United States sit in a fucking locked room for a couple hours signing 2,200 pardons. Just kind of makes sense in my eyes at that point, right? It's a little more efficient. You can get other work done. You can do other things and then have that thing be signing the pardons that I'm sure he'd probably already gone over and approved in other ways. I mean, just ridiculous nonsense, right? I mean, there's only so much of OAN one person can take. And officially, I have found out it is 55 seconds in a single day is about the most you could possibly take of any OAN clip. Again, this should be the Oversight Committee releases report on the Epstein distraction Biden auto pen presidency. That's what it should be labeled, this whole thing. You know what I mean? They should be labeled the Oversight Committee releases report on finding what else they could talk about to cover up the news or anything other than the Epstein files or the economy or the farmers going out of business or the American citizens being rounded up or, that whole thing. Ridiculous. But, speaking of ridiculous, oh boy. Speaking of ridiculous, I feel like I'm going to regret digging into this one, but again, I don't know how long one funeral can last. I'm really not sure. But we're about to find out. Let's see. Does it get crazy right off the bat? I'm going to pick one random moment.
Fan her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land.
Righty? Yes, it does. It certainly does. Oh, JD's in the house. What's he going to say? Is he hiding behind glass?
That you voted for, then get out and get involved and making your voice heard.
Just one big turning point recruitment session. That's all that is. I'm sure they played a couple clips of Chuck.
Agreed with me and the president's policy.
Did the televangelist? Oh, she did speak. The televangelist. Good.
Stand up for the truth. Defend life. Love your family fearlessly. Love your spouse fearlessly.
Ugh.
Love this country. Defend her. Defend her. And serve our God. And don't think that it's someone else's role to do it. You do it.
Oh, I just don't look too long. It's like you can't, if you look too long, it's like you get tranced up there. You get all tranced up.
Flanked between the Bible verse of Micah.
Oh, so it's half church, half funeral
What are
procession.
you going to do? But
Oh, there you go.
He did know what he was doing was that he was obeying the Lord. He was obeying what the Lord had placed inside of his heart.
Jesus Christ Almighty! Again, just can't even. I can't even indulge. I can't even indulge. I knew I was going to regret bringing that up, but again, we might as well dive into this then, because that has, this goes hand in hand with that, because the MAGA on MAGA, fight that's been going on, the MAGA on MAGA civil war that has erupted after, the murder of Charlie Kirk there has still been ongoing and has only ramped up since. And we've covered a bunch of it on the show here. And please hit that like button, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I would very much appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate your patience. I appreciate you guys, your time, your energy, your passion, your aggression makes all the difference in the world. It really does make all the difference in the world. So I really very much appreciate it. But here's, again, somebody we haven't covered in a long while here in Jimmy Dore, right? An ex-TYT acolyte, if I'm not mistaken. Right, but he's going after Donald Trump Jr. here, says he contradicts himself over Charlie Kirk's death, has a few choice words to say about Megyn Kelly, usually does from what I remember. But let's see if we can dive into this and see where, this is leading, because this is, again, it's tough to see, ladies and gentlemen. It's really tough to see just somebody floating out in the wilderness that is dying to be part of MAGA, but MAGA would never accept them into MAGA, and then having to watch them call out somebody they admire so much in Donald Trump Jr. Because Jimmy Dore wants to be on the ends on that fucking crowd, right? All right, let's take it. Let's take a look. Hold on, let me see if I can put this up right here. Put this in. There it is. There he goes. There he goes. All right, here we go.
Difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth is usually about 6 months.
But not this time. But definitely not this time. It's not one. My dad is involved in covering up an assassination everybody saw on TV.
I'm sorry. Is he actively saying to Donald Trump Jr. that Donald Trump is actively involved with the cover up? Is that what he just said? Was he trying to talk as if he was Donald Trump Jr. there?
But not this time. But definitely not this time. It's not one. My dad is involved in covering up an assassination everybody saw on TV.
Not that my dad is involved in covering up an assassination that everybody saw on live TV. All right, here we go. Starting off hot here with Jimmy on the Candace Owens train. He's fucking riding that Candace Owens train till the fucking end, baby. Till those tracks run out. And it doesn't matter who gets in the way. You can't stop a moving train. There's no turns on the track. So even if Don Jr. is in front of you, guess what? Choo-choo, motherfucker. The Jimmy Dore train's coming through. Oh, I love when these people go at each other. They're such fucking schmucks.
Not this time. Okay, more Charlie Kirk news. So I showed you that.
He does more Charlie Kirk news because he's been making an absolute fucking living lately, scraping the bottom of the barrel, literally following Candace Owens' content like he's the fucking puppy dog behind her with the leash on his fucking neck. But, that's just kind of what you do when you're just, again, floating aimlessly in the middle of nowhere. You've lost your entire crowd. You've lost your entire point of being. You've lost, everything that you, I guess, once, purported to stand for back in the day. So that sorry, sack of skin that would be Jimmy Dore in this moment in time. But again, trying to claw his way back on the back of Candace Owens. And again, Don Jr. just happens to be on the train tracks along with Megyn Kelly, I should say. So, all right, let's continue.
Megyn Kelly.
What's up, Allie? What's going on? What's up, Jane? What's up, Victor? What's up, George? What's up, Jorge? Thorben, what's going on, my man? Jim, appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit that like on the way in.
Gave a very, at the best way you could describe it, a disingenuous response to a question if she thought that the Charlie Kirk investigation was on the up and up, and she said, yes, she does. She believes everything
Wait a minute,
Cash
I'm
Patel.
sorry, I zoned out. Is he already attacking Megyn Kelly? Like, I was just kind of being facetious when I said that because I know he hates women with a passion, but I didn't think it would be less than a minute into this clip that's titled, like, Don Jr. did this and this and this, where he's already switched to going after the woman on screen. I didn't really see that. Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much. Happy birthday to my amazing husband. Yeah, happy birthday, Eric, from everybody here at Blunt Politics, everybody in the chat. I was going to wait till the end, but, you know, it's not worth waiting for. You might as well get it out when you can get it out, right, Jen? So I appreciate that. Thank you so much for your kind contribution. Thank you so much to you guys for everything you've done. Thank you so much, Eric. I appreciate you, brother. Hoping you're having a great day. Tell the pups I said hello, and hopefully you're not in fucking Kenny Bunkport. Hopefully you're out of that. I mean, every time you're in the chat, you guys are in Kenny Bunkport. But I appreciate you. Thank you so much for that generous contribution. That's awesome of you, and happy birthday again, Eric. Appreciate you, brother.
Told you that Megyn Kelly gave a very, at the best way you
can. He's already less than a minute, less than 30 seconds in, has already switched his role to going after the woman on stage. He's already going after Megyn Kelly. All right. Fucking some things don't change.
A disingenuous response to a question if she thought that the Charlie Kirk investigation was on the up and up, and she said yes, she does. She believes everything Cash Patel said, and she has no questions, none. That's Megyn Kelly. What a great reporter.
Good faith.
What's that?
Megyn Good Faith Kelly, they call it.
Megyn Good Faith Kelly. And now here she's going to ask. So it's funny. Now she turns the tables and she asked that same question to Don Jr. So this, and by the way, let me just say, just from man to man, another guy to another guy, you got to lose the Hunter Biden stubble beard because it's getting hard.
Shit, now he's calling Don Jr. Hunter Biden. The ultimate slapdown. The ultimate fucking smackdown. That's the one thing I don't think Don Jr. is going to tolerate there, Jimmy. I don't think he'll tolerate that. That is his arch nemesis, Hunter Biden is. He's not going to stand for that. Now, I will laugh hysterically if Don Jr. shows up somewhere tomorrow in public and has shaved his beard. That would be fucking hilarious. But, oh, boy, he's not going to like that one. Not going to like that one.
Hard to tell you guys apart on camera. I mean,
it is.
Hunter kind of wrecked that look for you. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we go.
How do you feel about the investigation into Charlie's death? Can we have faith in it? Do you feel like it's being well handled?
So obviously she doesn't, because if she didn't have a question about it, why would she ask him? By the way, Megyn Kelly has no questions. Go watch my other video. She has no questions.
Shut up and let him play the answer.
She 100% believes what the establishment narrative is and what the FBI is saying. She has no questions, no doubts, zero skepticism, nothing. So why would you ask him that?
Hold on. Let me get in Jimmy Dore mode here. I got to get in Jimmy Dore mode. I'm getting Jimmy Dore mode to watch this. My fault. Do I have my hair slicked back? Do I have that? No, I got the hat head going. Well, we could do it like that. Fuck it. We'll do it like that. We'll get our Jimmy Dore. We'll get our Jimmy Dore going. Is this a good enough Jimmy Dore impression? Do I look like him? Because you got to squint one eye really bad, and you got to just always be pointing back at the green screen like this. That's what he does. It's just, and then now you've officially become Jimmy Dore. You'll be all set.
That question. If you think it's on the up and up, why would you ask the guy who's the son of the head of the administration putting this story out? So that's to be suspect right away.
Maybe to get his thoughts on it, Jimmy. I don't fucking know. Please don't make me sit here and like give out like, maybe like what possibly could have happened in defense of Megyn Kelly, because it just seems, like she's asking him the question at this point. We haven't even heard the answer because you won't shut the fuck up and let it play.
But listen to what his answer is.
We're trying to. Shut up.
Do you think? So here's what.
Shut up.
Here's her question again.
How do you feel about?
Jesus Christ. He's going to repeat the same question that he just fucking repeated 10 times before he repeated the question the first time.
About the investigation into Charlie's death. Can we have faith in it? Do you feel like it's being well handled?
So far,
you know what? It's never good when you start off with that. Never good when that noise comes out of your mouth when answering any question.
So far, so good. I think, I've had this conversation with a lot of the guys that have been, very involved from the beginning, and others that are a big part of that movement that are, are going to take, more of a role. Guys like JD, like, hey, he believes we have to keep this going. People, myself, hey, I did a lot of them, but I got to do even more. We got to keep this going. There's never going to be a replacement for Charlie Kirk. You can't plug that.
So I don't know if you noticed, what he's doing is not answering the question.
I was gonna say, I honestly, I gotta say, I'm with Jimmy on that one. I didn't know what the fuck I don't know what he's talking about in that situation either, because he did everything but answer the question. I mean, he said so far so good, and that was about where the answer stopped on that one. I think he's talking about doing more Turning Point USA, like committees, action point fucking conferences or whatever they call them. But that wasn't the answer. I mean, that wasn't the question asked.
I don't know. He's got a ton of stuff to say. And that's what a liar does when they're lying. They overtalk. And so
I spaced out while he was talking.
What's that?
I spaced
What
out while
in the fuck is he wearing? Tell me that your fucking co-host, your producer, is on cocaine without actually telling me that your co-host and producer is on cocaine. Good grief. Now, if we don't turn into this channel, ladies and gentlemen, for your political fucking content, if you don't get your news from these two upstanding looking gentlemen here, then you know what? You're missing the plot. You are sadly misinformed and sadly mistaken, because this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is where you should get your fucking news from. Looks like he just stepped out of the cheapest strip club you could possibly find, with like licking the baggie for the residue left on the fucking cocaine bag.
I already spaced out too. So he's over-explaining something that wasn't even asked of him. That he's acting as if the question was, hey, how was TPUSA?
What is the gotcha moment? Is there some where does he contradict himself? Because at some point here, and hopefully it's not within 10 to 20 minutes in, because we're not getting that far. Hopefully it's sometime soon you catch Don Jr. in some sort of contradiction here. Can you elaborate? Can you fucking speed it up a little bit?
That wasn't the question. But he's pretending that was the question because he doesn't want to answer the first question. Okay, here we go.
But if we can find 10 people that can do 10% of what he did, and they go all in and do that, we can keep that alive. And honestly, we all owe that to him to do it. And so, we're gonna make sure that happens. And
don't you think what we owe to Charlie Kirk is an actual investigation into who killed him and what the group of people were involved in this?
Jimmy Dore honestly would hire Candace Owens as a private investigator right now. He's ready to fucking crown her as sheriff of fucking Utah at this point. He's ready to just throw her into the court case, let her lead the fucking prosecution, or let her lead the defense, whatever. He just wants her involved in this court case. Jimmy Dore wants this happening. He wants this to be, he wants to be able to keep climbing on the back of Candace Owens to make the content. Because this is just slop at this point. This is just slop. I'm no fucking fan of Megyn Kelly, and I'm certainly no fan of Don Jr. But so far in this, it's pretty mundane, and Jimmy Dore's digging at nothing. Absolutely nothing at this point.
Obviously a coordinated hit. Don't you think that you owe that to Charlie Kirk and his family and everybody at TPUSA and everybody across the country in general? You don't think
the first fucking son known for doing blow? What do you want him to do? He's not hands-on, directly involved in the case, you schmuck. What the fuck? This whole thing is so ridiculous.
That you owe that? No. What they owe to Charlie is to turn TPUSA back into a Zionist organization after he had taken it away from being a Zionist organ. That's what
we just went from 0 to 100 real fucking quick.
That means. That's what
he didn't even really take it away from that. He merely allowed some people to be on his event.
That's correct.
And asked a couple of questions. So he didn't really transgress in any real way, but it's enough, for them to take your thing and move on without you.
Maybe we're blessed.
Again, that's the old Candace Owens conspiracy theory bleeding through into Jimmy Dore nowadays. He cannot get enough of it. He really can't get enough of it. He just went from 0. Did anybody in this video hear anything about Israel, Zionism be mentioned, or did Jimmy just pull that out of his ass? Right? Oh, these fucking people, they're insufferable. They are insufferable. It's ridiculous that they continue to have a platform, these people, that people continue to tune into them somehow. And I saw this go by, Alyosha, in the chat as well. Let me throw this up. I saw this go by. Didn't want you to think I missed it. This is Occupy Democrats. Alyosha sent this in. Fox News host Jessica Toloff stuns her MAGA viewers, calling bullshit on Republicans for labeling Democrats heartless as Trump cuts off food benefits to millions of Americans. She was just getting warmed up. The story about Democrats cutting off SNAP benefits is that we were heartless one. The heartless ones and Mike Johnson feels terrible is how you say BS, said Toloff. Mike Johnson in his big, beautiful bill. $186 billion gone from the SNAP program, and in 2018 shutdown, Donald Trump made sure that the people got their SNAP benefits because he knows that it's important, and that's why Josh Hawley wants to have a standalone bill about SNAP. The big, beautiful bill also slashed $1 trillion from Medicaid while funneling more wealth to the super rich, amounting to one of the most flagrant acts of class warfare in modern American history. Josh Hawley, who also wants a standalone bill to make sure that the people get their medical coverage get back because the big, beautiful bill, because it takes it away. Toloff continued. Gutfeld is an asshole. Translation. No video. Where's the video? No video for that one? Well, she's always, she's always busting the chops to Republicans over there. She's always standing on her own, waiting for fucking Greg Gutfeld's little stupid fucking chime in, waiting for, sexist Jesse Waters to chime in somehow with that one too. But I appreciate you throwing that in there, Alyosha. So I saw that one go by. What else? Let's dive into a little bit of good news. Let's dive into a little bit of the good side for a second. What do you say? Because like I said, it was nice to see Senate Democrats and, House Democrats come out today, and try to, tell the American public, make sure the American public knows just what's going on in terms of these SNAP benefits, in terms of, the government shutdown. This was, I think, the Bernie-led coalition, if I'm not mistaken. Let me throw this on the screen for you guys. We'll see if we can put up just a little bit of this here. I won't play them all, but we'll see if we can kind of pick and choose some of the good moments here. Let's see what Bernie had to say.
And how we got to where we are. This government shutdown is taking place for one simple reason. For the first time in the modern history of our country, the majority party in the Senate, the Republican Party, which needs 60 votes to pass a budget bill to fund the government, is refusing to negotiate. Republicans have 53 votes in the Senate. Democratic caucus has 47.
And it's tough to just adequately drill home the optics of what's going on. As Donald Trump is, I don't know, fucking jet setting the world, receiving golden gifts and crowns from fucking ultra rich world leaders and heads of state, right? As back home, he's tore down the East Wing of the White House so that he could build a $300+ million fucking golden ballroom dedicated to Jeffrey Epstein. Right. And this is above and beyond the fact that he turned the White House into fucking Liberace's diarrhea, basically. I mean, not only that, but the $800 to $900 million he sucked out of people, foreign leaders, fucking corrupt officials overseas in his, illegal and unregulated crypto scams. I mean, the list is just fucking endless. It's almost impossible, unless you're fucking Mehdi Hassan, to recite all the ways Donald Trump has managed to screw people, which is why he continues. When you hear him talk in these official fucking state meetings, and he's always touting about how, America's doing so well and we've never done better. What he's actually talking about, he's talking about his bank account. He's talking about his family and the closest people surrounding him, the richest people in the country, the top 1%. They've never done better. They've never been closer, and it's never been easier to buy your way into more money through the presidents of the United States, through the United States government, than it is right now. When they call this a fucking pay-to-play scheme, blatantly in your face, and the biggest pay-to-play scheme in the history of the United States, they're not lying. They're not joking. That's not bullshit. So at the same time, 42 million Americans are going to be struggling to put food on the table. At the same time, 26 million Americans are also going to lose access to their health care. At the same time, 26 different states are suing Donald Trump, and the Republicans and Donald Trump are refusing to, again, use the emergency funding to continue these SNAP benefits. I mean, you got to put all those optics together. You got to make sure that, you're relaying the facts and making sure that as Donald Trump's going around getting gold gifts, talking about the stock market and this and that, and, giving favors to his fucking rich buddies as they're donating money to this ballroom so they can get favors on the back end. Again, the $900 million he's made in crypto. not to mention the other schemes that he has going on. I mean, at some point, it's got to click with people and be like, okay, this is complete horseshit that, people are going to be starving. Kids are going to be starving after he's already cut, Doge had already cut fucking cancer research funding for kids. They've already cut, what was it? They've already, they've not allowed, millions and millions of dollars of aid to go into Democratic states. This after, what was it? They cut the aid funding to Alaska, and then Alaska had a huge flooding issue in which, thousands had to be evacuated. And then mealy mouth JD Vance came out and said they're doing everything they can. Well, that's not true, because you already put them in a fucking, a tight position by removing the funding that they would have used in order to help the people after a natural disaster like that. And there's many other instances in states that were denied federal funding, denied disaster relief. I mean, the fucking list, again, is just absolutely endless in ways that the optics on this can be used against the Republican Party, can be used against Donald Trump. I mean, when everything's fucking gold and you got fucking homelessness on the rise, the housing cost on the rise, fucking inflation on the rise, as he's out there lying through his teeth to other world leaders about all of these things being down, right? Making up numbers. I think at one point in the meeting, he said the stock market had hit a record 48 different times. And then the very next meeting, the number was 45 different times. So clearly making that up out of cold cloth, clearly making that up and pulling that out of his asshole. Well, let me see if I can put this back on the old Stiz age. We'll get back to Bernie before I blow my top here.
You need 60 votes.
And thank you, Chewy. Thank you very much, Chewy. I saw that go by in the chat. My apologies. My apologies. I'll give you your proper dues, your proper shout out at the end of the show. Make sure you stick around so I can do that for you. I appreciate you, brother.
Pass a budget bill. You have to negotiate. But for the first time in modern history, the Republicans are not negotiating. What they are saying is their way or the highway. They refuse to sit down and talk. And further, in terms of their contempt for the negotiating process, Mike Johnson, the Republican leader in the House, has given his members a 6-week paid vacation.
Now, there were a couple other moments in this, and not to skip over Bernie. I think he talks more at the end as well. But I just want to bring in, I think this was pretty good. This was pretty straightforward. And again, it's the most direct rhetoric, the most in your face, the most fucking, obvious rhetoric that's going to win over this argument right now. It's not, fucking political jargon. It's not, making sure your speech is refined and is gone through by your 19 assistants to make sure every word is perfect. It's come out there, speak your fucking heart, speak to the American people in a real way, talk about real things that are going on and how you can really help them. And it will fucking, it'll bring you a long way with the American people. But let me see if I can pull this up right here too. I think this is Ed Markey, my buddy, my main man, Ed Markey.
Thank you. And thank you for calling us, Bernie. November 1st is just 3 days away. That's the day when SNAP benefits stop being added to EBT cards for 40 million Americans because Trump and MAGA Republicans.
And I say that because of the area that he's from. That's about it.
Refused to use a $5.5 billion emergency fund to make sure families get to eat. Some of those families are already having to ration what's left on their cards because they fear nothing is coming.
That seems, hold on. Wait, what? Hold on. I got to look that one up. Let me see this. Mel just sent me this in the background. Let me see if I can, give me a second. Bear with me. It's not something you see every day here. Let's see here. How do you get to... How the hell do you get to Midas Touch? MEI? I'm so confused. Why can't I pull up that? Oh, here we go. I was going to say, why can't I pull up the actual... Oh, yeah, here's what I was saying. Put this on the screen for you guys. This is not something you see every day. This is Midas Touch says, just in, Trump says he has instructed the Department of Defense to start testing our nuclear weapons. put out in a True Social post, the United States has more nuclear weapons than any other country. This was accomplished, including a complete update and renovation of existing weapons during my first term in office, but because of tremendous destructive power, I hated to do it, but had no choice. Russia is second and China is a distant third, but will even be within 5 years, will be even within 5 years. Because of other countries' test programs, I have instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons on an equal basis. That process will begin immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Shitty J. Trump. Now, one would have to assume that the United States already had a procedure in place to test their nuclear weapons. I'm sure there's, scheduled maintenance, upkeep, lifespans and shit and rules and regulations. I mean, I'm just spitballing here. Just assuming that we already had something like this in place. But again, I think this is just Donald Trump saying that he wants to, do a nuclear test every time Russia or China does a nuclear test. Like he wants more nuclear testing on this basis. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm sure there's some fucking archipelago somewhere that we could blow up. But I'm not sure. Some atoll. There's got to be some atoll we haven't fucking tested a nuke in somewhere around the world. But again, not something you see the president say all the time. Like, yeah, we need to test more nuclear weapons. We're the president of peace, but you know what we should do? We should be testing more nukes. That's what we should do. President of peace. Fucking hell. Oh, jeez. All right.
On November 1st. That's the same day they have to pay rent. Trump and his Republican allies in Congress will allow babies to go hungry. Trump just found $40 billion to bail out Argentina to get the new president elected, but
This was a good sticking point. This was a good through line, that you could tell these people talked about. It's, continued to bring up the fact that $40 billion was sent to bail out Argentina, as not only the farmers in this country are struggling, but also we're dealing with the looming government shutdown. We're going on 30 days of this where federal employees aren't getting paid. We're talking about SNAP cuts here where 42 million Americans could go hungry. Again, not to mention the 26 million that are going to lose access to health care. It's good to put these things in perspective and use this to, give the American people something to juxtapose what they're going through with what the priorities of this government actually are.
Find enough to feed struggling American families. It is a national disgrace. In Massachusetts, 1.1 million people will struggle to put food on their tables starting Saturday. That's 1 in 6 people in our state. 1 in 3 SNAP recipients in Massachusetts is a child. At the Stop and Shop in Malden, 3 blocks from my house, right now it's $4.29. It's $4.29 for a gallon of store brand whole milk. It's $7.55 for 1 pound of store brand ground beef. It's $4.99 for a dozen store brand large white eggs. And all a SNAP recipient gets is $6 to $7 a day. That's it. And they're going to cut that off.
Now, again, put that into perspective. Right? As Donald Trump said he was going to come into office and immediately prices were going to go down. I mean, just look at the position that people are going to be in. Even with what they receive, it's not enough. Continue looking at the prices and what we just named there. Christ, I haven't heard Stop and Shop be named in a long time. It's been a while since I've heard the company Stop and Shop, but nice to hear. But, laying it on the line like this, giving people something to look at, comparing prices, which is something else. A lot of people in the chat going shopping for their family. You know what I mean? They got kids, they got friends, they got family. They're cooking for fucking, holidays and stuff. So they know what they're paying. So when, Ed goes up there, and different Democrat fucking senators or people in the House go up there and talk about, real world experiences and what they're paying and how that compares to, again, the measly SNAP benefits that the people were receiving. It gives people something to kind of, something tangible to take home.
In New Bedford, it is.
And then let's see if there was one more. Let's see here. Yeah, this was a pretty good one as well. Let me see if I can put this up.
This is not about the shutdown. Many of you who have asked us, are you getting pressure? Because now SNAP benefits are going to expire, and therefore shouldn't you reopen government? That is a fair question, but there's a clear answer. This has nothing to do with the shutdown. The law requires, and the funds are available to continue SNAP right now without any interruption. So that is a decision that the president is making on his own, to allow people to go hungry when he has the power to continue the SNAP benefits that folks desperately need. And it is desperate. I mean, the folks who rely on SNAP, $6 a day, and you can barely buy a pound of hamburger in Chelsea. But that is real. The other thing is a lot of the questions you ask are about the tactics. Who's doing what? How are you going to get them to negotiate? That's why I think stepping back and having some context, there really was a one big beautiful bill that really did provide incredible tax cuts for very wealthy people and corporations. There really was a big beautiful bill that cut food benefits and cut health care. And we are fighting for what Republican families and Democratic families need. And that's health care. Taking away the health care, the tax credits, and this applies to folks who are working, buying in the marketplace, means that they're not going to be able to afford it and they're going to lose it. You know,
and then let's see here. Senator Warren comes in at some point as well. Let's see what she's got to say.
Excuse me. For the first time in American history, a president of the United States is shutting down access to food for millions of Americans.
Now, again, whatever you think, whatever your, preconceived notions, whatever your past experiences are with Elizabeth Warren, that's a statement right there where you come out in front of the cameras with a microphone in your face and you say something like that and it gets people's attention, right? It gets people's attention to say the first time in fucking American history, the president is actually going to let people starve in the country, right? I mean, that's the type of shit that we need to come out here and start, pushing back with. Right. Some of the things that are attention grabbing, but also true at the same time. Right.
American history, a president of the United States is shutting down access to food for millions of Americans. Donald Trump has made the decision to let people across this country go hungry. Trump is telling 15 million hungry children, eat dirt. Trump is telling 1 million hungry vets, eat dirt. Trump is telling 8 million seniors who are hungry, eat dirt. That is how much Donald Trump cares about the children, the veterans, the seniors, the people of this country.
I mean, just spot on, right? With the way that this needs to be addressed, this needs to be handled, the rhetoric that we should be fucking combating this bullshit with, right? I mean, so far, that's just perfect. No fucking jogging, no bullshit, straightforward, the way people normally talk in this country, right? Not refined, not gone over by your assistants to make sure that everything's A-okay and fucking, PC and, really clean. Just get out there and tell it as it is. Talk to the American people like they like to be talked to. And I promise it'll get you places.
Look, Donald Trump knows how to round up money. He's managed to round up money for a gold-encrusted ballroom to replace the East Wing of the White House. He has managed to round up $40 billion for Argentina, but he can't manage to round up one nickel for hungry children in this country. This is a manufactured crisis. Donald Trump and the Republicans, part one, decided to cut benefits for those who are hungry in the big, beautiful bill.
And I think Bernie even comes back in here afterwards. Yeah, he does come back in. Let me see what Bernie has to finish out here, because I think he goes on to explain what that poster board was on the corner there.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions? Yes, right here. Yeah. Tell us where you're from.
I'm Gabe Hawkins. I'm from the Dole News Service. This is for any of the senators, but do you think that the unpopularity of SNAP benefits being taken away and all the lawsuits that attorney generals are filing across the United States, do you think that's going to have any sway with Trump and the Republicans?
Damn right I do. Look, what people understand is you got...
I couldn't entirely make out the question, but I do love the response. You're damn right I do.
Multi-billionaire in the White House, palling around with people who are worth hundreds of billions of dollars, giving these people massive tax breaks, and at the same time telling families in this country who are struggling to put food on the table to feed their kids that we don't have the resources for them, when in fact Congress has appropriated over $5 billion to do that. Do I think the American people are going to respond strongly? Damn right I do. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Senate Democrats are continuing to reject the House-passed CR to open the government, but since Congress does have the power of the purse to fund the government, how do you justify blaming Trump to fund all these various aspects of government when it's Democrats who continue to vote to keep it on?
Excuse me, this is, why don't you read this? What this is congressional mandate. It is acknowledged by the Trump administration. What they are saying is, we acknowledge that there are over $5 billion in a fund that in the event of a shutdown will be released in order to continue the SNAP program. That is not unequivocal. That is the reality. Let's have a president who obeys the law for a change. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you talked about the 11 Republicans who are joining your cause. Do you think there will be more after November 4th when it really hits?
Well, I think myself, others can jump in here. My own view is, yes, I think the demand here is, first of all, of course, that Trump obey the law and release that funds. The second demand is...
Bernie's done with that shit, Julie. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Excuse me, Judy. My apologies. Yeah, he's done. He's done with this shit. Listen, lady, can you fucking read? Read the sign. The sign says it all. This is what it says. He's legally mandated to do this exact thing. Shut up. Stop asking dumb questions and read the goddamn sign. He's had enough of this shit.
Is that Mr. Thune listens to 11 Republicans and every member of the Democratic caucus and bring that bill to the floor. If your question is, do I think even more Republicans will come on board? Yes, I do.
And I think, you kind of get the gist of this. Not only was it the Senate Democrats, like I said, the House Democrats also, a portion of them, some of them actually had a press conference as well. And it was, what was it, Joe Nagano? What's his name? I think I'm getting his name wrong now. The rep from Colorado. He had a fantastic couple clips, a fantastic couple points that he made. And it seemed to be like, they were all saying the same thing finally. They all kind of had a coherent message. They all kind of had that cohesive plan of, bringing up the $40 billion sent to Argentina, making sure that people knew that Donald Trump still, regardless of the government shutdown, had not only the right, the ability, but the obligation to continue to fund these SNAP benefits through emergency funding, right? So again, these are things that the American people need to know because, unfortunately, up until this point, we haven't really been winning the information war. We haven't been really winning the battle on that front. It's, I don't know, believe whatever poll you want to believe, but in different polls have shown that, even since the government shutdown, some of the, approval of the Republicans in Congress has slightly bumped up. And I know a lot of people are talking about the low approval ratings of the Democrats, but again, that's not, I think that's actually a sign that people want so much more from them, right? That's not a sign people are afraid and they're going to run over and jump over to Republicans and people are disillusioned or what. I think people are seeing what's going on from the other side, the attack that this country is under right now. They're seeing how aggressive the other side is being in accruing power, in consolidating power. And what people are upset about is that we don't have this cohesive plan, this cohesive unit yet just in place in order to combat this effectively, either with, tough speeches, strong rhetoric, organized marches, stuff like that, whatever you want to call it. But I think people want to, they demand more of these press conferences, calling out the Trump administration, calling out things just like this, making sure the American people know, what's going on behind the scenes and the fact that they do, have the money for this. They're just choosing not to fucking fund it and to let people go hungry. These are really important talking points. These are really important facts of the matter, facts of the case that a lot of people, again, that aren't as politically involved may not be privy to. They don't know. And again, a lot of the Republican propaganda is highly effective. right? And talking about how it's the Democrat shutdown and it's Schumer's shutdown and, it's their fault. And, without recognizing that it's because of the moldy, decrepit, shitty bill and the damage that would do that caused us to be in this position in the first place to even have to, consider a government shutdown and not letting this government get away with harming so many millions of American people, right? So we had to kind of take the risk. We had to kind of take, this opportunity to put our foot down. And again, in this situation isn't caused by that because, again, the funds are there through emergency services, and Trump is obligated to, again, fund that SNAP, the SNAP benefits there. But again, if you have the time or the energy, make sure you check out some of the House Democrats as well, because they had a pretty good showing as well. But what do you say we hop into this one? I'm kind of excited for not only myself to watch this, but for you guys to watch this, because it's kind of a combination here. This is kind of like a meeting of the minds. It's like two of our go-to commentators, two of our go-to content creators meeting up in the same place. It's like a collision of stars here. I don't know how to take it, but again, Dim Fool, the old shitty tool, calling out the I've Had It podcast, and I think just Jen in particular. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't seen this. Like I said, I wanted to wait and watch it with you. But again, so supposedly the I've Had It ladies put out some content where they actively called for the, I don't know, unaliving. I don't know what you want to call it. I don't want to get too technical because, got to be safe. But, basically for Democrats to actively seek out conservatives in some sort of way. And Tim Pool apparently has evidence of this. So what do you say we dive into a little bit of this, see how much we can get through? I'll make this a little bigger on the screen for you. Started from the old beginning, and then we'll go from there. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit that like button. I'm Boston Brian. This is Blunt Politics. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for your loyalty, your friendship, your contributions to the channel. I really, really do appreciate it. Please, and make sure you're looking out for my videos on Jesse Dollamore's channel, the Dollamore Daily. Please make sure you support me. It would be very, very nice to see at least the amount of views coming from you guys that I would normally get on some of my own videos. That would be fantastic for you guys to add to that. I hope it ends up being beneficial to, both Jesse and I, and hopefully I represent the channel well. But again, let's dive into this. And thank you so much for your support, your kind words, your well wishes. You're helping keeping me going, I promise.
A podcast with over 1 million subscribers, getting hundreds of thousands of views per videos. It's relatively prominent on the left. The individual who hosts the show, one of them.
Now, I already smell like the faintest whiff of jealousy coming from Dim Tool here, right? Like, I just can't help but notice the fact that he doesn't like not only the fact that this is a woman, right? Not only the fact that this is two women, but two liberal, progressive white women that are coming from Tim's Pool's spot. Like, this is his internet, ladies and gentlemen. You don't know, right? So I think this is a little bit of like he's now noticing the traction that they're getting, the amount of views that they're getting. And this was just kind of his way to hop on the, the bandwagon to see if he can try to take them down. And again, this is just after 10 seconds of this clip, but just the faintest whiff of jealousy coming from old Timmy Poo here.
Has over 1 million followers on Instagram. And in this viral video, she explicitly says that the Democratic Party needs to get on board with wanting to murder conservatives. I'm not exaggerating. I thought it was a joke at first. I thought somebody was being...
Wait, didn't we actually play this clip on the show? I think we actually played this one on the show. This is where they're talking about Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, and if you don't get out of the way type of thing. Like, that's not this one, is it? Because I don't recall anything being said where they like actively seek people to go after conservatives or anything like that. I'm pretty sure we played this on the show.
Being hyperbolic. You listen to the clip, and in the beginning, it sounds like maybe she's not really saying that the majority of Democrats want to murder conservatives and Democrats need to get on board. What happens is Caitlin Bennett interviews a woman.
Sorry, but is it just me or does Tim look like the fucking prime recipient of SNAP benefits all the time? I had to get that one out. Sorry.
And who says she's glad Charlie Kirk died and maybe she wants her to die too. This woman, Jennifer Welch, then says there are many more like us and Democrats better get on board or else we're going to come after you.
Is that the quote? Oh, hold on. Is that the quote this is the bad quote they're talking about? Listen up, Democratic establishment. You can either jump on board with this or we're coming after you the same way that we come after MAGA, period. I'm sorry, Tim. That's what you're talking about? That's what you're trying to equate to them talking about killing conservatives? I'm sorry. Is that please tell me there's more to it than that?
About AIPAC, saying that you got to stop taking money from AIPAC. And it sounds like maybe she's saying, oh, anti-Israel. Maybe it's out of context. She then specifies from the video, she is talking about murdering conservatives. You have two choices. Use whatever force needed to stop incitement like this, or let the ideology spread. If you allow these shows to continue to spread this ideology, then I only request that you prepare for what history predicts will come next. I'm going to play the clip for you now.
Jesus Christ. Tim manages to sneak this Civil War bullshit into every single one of his goddamn videos. Like, it's almost impressive at this point, like how much he manages to sneak and dig and pry and put like Civil War into his videos somehow and like make that the fucking main thing. Like, if you could pull up all of the tweets in which Tim Pool is called for Civil War or whatever, there's probably thousands of them at this point. But again, apparently he's got more to it than, just that little statement gave us. So how about you play the clip and let us fucking hear it on our own?
And I'll give you some context as to who this woman is.
Finally, if you think this Zoran thing is happening just in New York and you think people are waking up only in New York City, you're mistaken. Look at this clip of a wine mom at the No Kings March. Play the clip.
Whatever his name was?
Charlie Kirk, ma'am?
Yeah, him is horrible. Horrible.
Charlie Kirk is horrible?
Yes, I'm glad he's not here.
You're glad he's dead?
Yes.
Why would you say something like that, ma'am?
Because he was horrible on the campuses, the college campuses. Horrible person.
You know what? I do the exact same thing.
Well,
would you be glad if I would die?
Listen, I got fucking news for you, lady. And is this Gun Girl? Is this the lady that shit her pants? Isn't this the lady that shit her pants? I'm pretty sure this is the chick that shit her pants. Oh, what's up, Susie? What's happening, Susie? I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. What was he on, late tonight? Huh? Was he on a little late tonight? I appreciate you guys hopping over. Thank you so much. But I'm pretty sure this is the girl that ended up shitting her pants. She tries to be, or she might even been before Charlie Kirk. She might have been doing this beforehand. I'm not really sure how the timelines coincide, but she's pretty much the same thing, but the female Charlie Kirk just never made it to the level that Charlie did, probably because the billionaire backers of the right didn't want to fund a lady. But other than that, what you should know is that Tim, or a lady, if you were to say, I don't know, the time my grandmother was alive, go up to her at any point, right? And ask her what she thinks about something, what she feels about something, what she feels about a person that's in the fucking same room. Guess what she's not going to do? She wouldn't have fucking held back. She wouldn't have given a shit about your feelings, and she wouldn't have fucking minced words, okay? That's just what happens, I think, when you get on in age. You give less fucks, okay? So, and I've been talking on this show a lot about the one thing, the one person that you can blame for the fucking radicalization of me, the people that watch this show, and the people that fucking are surrounded politics is Donald J. fucking Trump, okay, in the Republican Party. That is the main benefactor. That is the main reason that so many people are fucking radicalized up to this point. And again, even without the radicalization, if you would, again, ask one, and I'm sure this probably goes for a lot of people in the chat as well. Grandmothers don't give a fuck. They don't give a shit. They don't fucking care who's in the room, who they're talking about, what they say. At least that's how it was. At least that's how it was in my grandmother. She just, you wanted her opinion. It was your fault if you asked her opinion because you're getting her fucking opinion, right? And this is just one lesson learned, poopy pants. One lesson learned. Don't go up to an old lady expecting sympathy. After, you're fucking trampling all over her rights, making sure that her fucking siblings and making sure that her grandchildren live in a shitty fucking world. Just don't expect them to be nice. That's all.
Maybe. I'd have to think about it.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Your friend just said she'd be happy if I died.
I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing. I'm not. I'm not laughing at that lady's reaction at all.
Glad if I would die?
Maybe. I'd have to think about it.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Be ashamed of yourself.
Your friend just said she'd be happy if I died.
Oh, somebody texted me a joke. I saw the joke at the same time that woman laughed in that lady's face. Your friend just told me she hoped I was dead. Laughter in your face.
Glad if I would die?
Maybe. I'd have to think about it.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Be ashamed of yourself.
Your friend just said she'd be happy if I died.
She fucking couldn't even contain it. She really couldn't even contain it. Oh, sorry. Yeah, good joke. Whoever texted me that joke. Good joke.
It's funny, right?
So listen up, Democratic establishment. You can either jump on board with this shit or we're coming after you in the same way that we come after MAGA. Period. Stop taking AIPAC money.
I'm just gonna, guys.
So how are you equating this to a threat whatsoever? Like, clearly she means like on the show, like doing clips and, you know, when she's picking, you know, people to come after and call out. Like, it doesn't take a genius to figure that one out, right? Like, so I'm kind of curious, like maybe it's still to come. And if you're just joining us, thank you to everybody just joining us. Make sure you hit that like on the way in. Thank you for the sparkler raid. I appreciate you guys. What's up, what's up, Adam? Appreciate you guys. What's up, Pat? Oh, thank you, Yvonne. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you very, very much. Thank you so much to everybody that's coming over. I appreciate you. But yeah, in case you're just joining us, we're going through like a mashup, kind of a meeting of the minds, a fucking, you know, a collision of stars here, so to speak, of some of our favorite content creators. One, Dim Fool, and the other one being the I've Had It podcast. And Tim Pool is trying to get across here some way, somehow, that the I've Had It ladies are actively calling for Democrats to, I don't know, again, go after conservatives in some way, some shape or form. I'm not really sure. He hasn't really specified yet. So far, it's just kind of been like, I don't know, vague talk that he's trying to represent as such. But other than that, I appreciate it. Hit that like button. Let's continue.
I'm done playing games. I'm not going to give anyone the benefit of the doubt. She just threatened to murder Democratic politicians.
No, she fucking didn't. She damn well didn't. What? I'm sorry. Let's go back. Even with this clip, like, I'm not even sure, like, this clip even has anything to do with it. It's just that she's watching this clip at the moment. And I think it's, like, just what she says at the end. So I'll play this again, like I said, just in case you're just joining us. This one sentence, apparently, is what Tim Pool is equating to calling for murder, apparently, somehow. Let me know if you get the same, because I didn't.
It's funny, right?
So listen up, Democratic establishment.
Okay, so listen up, Democratic establishment.
You can either jump on board with this shit.
You can either jump on board with this shit.
Or we're coming after you in the same way that we come after MAGA.
Or we're coming after you the same way that we come after MAGA. Now, if I said that, that would be me pretty much saying the same way I come after people like Tim Pool and Benny Johnson and fucking OAN and Greg Kelly on Newsmax and RSBN. Like, I would devote that much aggression and that much energy towards, you know, calling your ass out for not being in lockstep with what the rest of your party wants. Right? So that's the long form. But I guess if you're a fucking moron like Tim Pool, you could kind of misinterpret that a different way. But again, anything in there did you guys get that's actively or, you know, specifically, without question, calling for or inciting violence somehow at all? No.
Period. Stop taking AIPAC money.
I'm just gonna, guys.
Hold on, sorry, Tim. Just before you speak, can I second that? I second that movement. I second that notion.
Playing games.
The AIPAC notion.
I'm not going to give anyone the benefit of the doubt. She just threatened to murder Democratic politicians. She showed a clip.
She fucking did not. I will repeat. Sorry.
Where a woman said, "I'm glad Charlie Kirk is dead." And when asked, Caitlin Bennett says, "What if I died?" She goes, "Maybe. Have to think about it." And the woman laughs.
Okay, but Tim, you do know that's not her, right? Like, you're aware that's not the fucking host of the podcast. I doubt it on that one. Excuse me, I've had it. Like, that's not, like, you are well aware that are two totally separate women in a totally separate clip that she just happens to be watching on the show. I'm not sure if he's aware of that.
She then says, "Democrats, get on board or we'll come after you the same way we come after MAGA," after showing a clip where they say she's happy that Charlie Kirk is dead.
Yes, she's pointing out the fact that even these old, what she called, liberal wine moms have been radicalized to the point of giving zero fucks and being out on the streets to protest this government, right? So again, what she's saying is, if you don't want these people to, again, turn their ire as far as political motivation, as far as, political rhetoric, as far as the people that they're calling out to come after you, then you best get in line. You best stop taking AIPAC money and do what's right for the American people and not what's right for your fucking piggy bank or your coffers in your campaign. Again, this isn't too hard to decipher. Maybe because we're on the same side. I don't know. Maybe Tim is just, again, the hat's on too tight. Not quite entirely sure. But so far, he's given me nothing to suggest anything that this headline remotely suggests.
I think the implication is rather obvious. Now, we can play silly games. I'm not interested. You can sit here and say, she didn't really mean that. She meant that they would threaten to kill you, or that they would publicly say you need to be killed, not that she wants you to die.
That's all the same thing. That is everything that you just said in those two useless fucking sentences equates to the same thing. None of which she said, I'll add. Just none of which she even remotely said. But there's no distinction in between the two things that you just said. Both of those, in a very clear way, are inciting violence, are clear and direct instructions, which, again, she did not give.
Yeah, if you want to play that game, by all means, you go ahead and do so. I ain't playing any stupid games.
Are you sure? Because you look like you've won a fair few fucking dumb prizes in your day. Are you sure you don't play any fucking stupid games? Because you look like the fucking king stupid prize winner. And again, you can't win stupid prizes if you don't play stupid games, Timothy. But you know that. You know that.
Honestly, I ask all of you watching to comment right now as to what you think her intent was.
I just gave, you know what? I don't have to comment, Tim. What you can do is you can subscribe to the Boston Brian YouTube channel. We have a great podcast called Blunt Politics, and we actually call your ass out a lot, and you'd probably learn a lot from me calling you out if you did indeed, turn into the show. But if, any chance you want to, what you can do is just go back to the last, 10 or 15 minutes where I gave a pretty concise, repudiation to what you're saying and a pretty concise explanation as to what she meant in her statement. And, we'll forego all the comments and all the bullshit. Why do we have to go through that? I already said it, right?
Didn't explicitly and verbatim say, "Do it or you die."
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that one more time?
You to die. Yeah, if you want to play that game, by all means, you go ahead and do so. I ain't playing any stupid games. But honestly, I ask all of you watching to comment right now as to what you think her intent was. She didn't explicitly and verbatim say, "Do it or you die."
She didn't explicitly or verbatim say, "Do it or you die." She didn't say remotely anything like that. Nothing even close. So I'm glad Tim's now getting down to the crux of what she didn't say. Go on, Tim.
But the implication is clear when she plays this clip and then says, "We'll come after you all the same." She's telling Democrats to prepare to fear death if they don't get on board.
Wait a minute. Whoa. So now it's about going after Democrats? Like, why is your headline about going after conservatives then? How are you trying to equate? Why are you putting yourself in this situation? What?
With what they want. She is saying that they support threatening the lives of conservatives, and they'll do the same to you.
She literally did not say any of that. Once again, nothing that what you just said came out of her mouth. You're just clearly putting words into the subject, clearly putting words into her mouth. What? It just, again, the whiff of jealousy has been getting stronger and stronger since we played this clip, since we started this clip. Tim is just clearly jealous at the extent of the reach in the exposure that the I've Had It podcast has been getting recently and the views that they've been getting as well. Clearly, Tim doesn't like people, especially women, stepping into his space, and he's going to make sure he does everything possible to make sure that they can't go any further, which is what this, entire fucking clip is about.
Go on an I'm sorry I took AIPAC money atonement tour if you want to stay in power. Stop missing out on these big rallies. Hakeem and Chuck should have been front and center introducing the next mayor of New York City, but no, they wouldn't show up because they're pussies. They're pussies that are beholden to the same corporations that helped Donald Trump get elected.
Ban her. I'm not playing these games anymore. She needs to be banned. Her podcast needs to be.
I'm sorry. What? We just went from 0 to 100. What happened? We don't do cancel culture on the right? What happened to free speech? What happened to the First Amendment all of a sudden? You guys just completely eradicated now? Like, do you see how easily fucking susceptible Tim is to just coming out and showing you his true colors? I want her banned, he says, after she tells Democrats to start meeting the moment and using these big rallies and these big events and the momentum that these candidates have in order to, raise the awareness of the entire Democrat Party and not just fucking, stand in the background and let it happen without you. Somehow that is causation for being banned by Tim Pool now.
In center introducing the next mayor of New York City, but no, they wouldn't show up because they're pussies. They're pussies that are beholden to the same corporations that helped Donald Trump get elected.
Ban her. I'm not playing these games anymore. She needs to be banned. Her podcast needs to be shut down. You cannot, as a society, have people with millions.
Now, what he's trying to do, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm kind of getting a little bit of a bigger picture here. He's trying to kind of wrap this podcast up, and specifically, specifically, is it Jen? Am I getting this wrong? Is it? I forget now. I mix them up all the time. But specifically, this podcast, he's trying to get them wrapped up in this phenomenon still kind of taking place on Twitter, where anything egregiously said about Charlie Kirk's death, or again, if you put out a video and it's not showing enough emotion, or if you're showing the wrong opinions, or if you're calling Charlie Kirk out, you're still susceptible to losing your job. There's still this campaign going on to expose people and get them fired. It's not as prevalent and prominent as it once was, but it's still going on. So what I think is trying to happen here is I think Tim's trying to wrap the I've Had It podcast up in that whole little debate and trying to get them, removed because of the threat of violence posed, and because they're just another one of these people using Charlie Kirk's death to incite they want to be wrapped up in that, so it's easy for them to be removed. So Tim has less competition. I mean, it's easy to see what the hell is going on here. But again, the party of free speech, the party of fucking back in the Constitution, supposedly, the party that doesn't engage in cancel culture and thinks that's fucking, a woke thing that happens, now engages in all that shit, happily calls for it when they have absolutely no proof, no explicit evidence, and nothing specifically said to corroborate or back up any of their fucking claims. It's just, you can't write it. You really cannot write this shit. Again, go back and how many different clips can we pull up of Tim Pool supposedly being the just warrior for free speech, and talking about how cancel culture is incredibly bad and negative for society and all this bullshit. Cut to this and any other one of his recent clips where he's calling for people to be banned, or I think we played one where, he was actively supporting the visas being stripped from people that, had something to say about Charlie Kirk and they were being deported. Just like I said, actively showing his fucking true colors in this whole scheme. and it doesn't take much to pull it out of them. What do you say we hop into? Yeah, we can hop into this one because I think we should probably dive into this before we run out of time, because obviously not only is it important to report on the good moments and the successes that the Ukrainian military has, but also the pressing moments and the dire issues that they face. Right. So, when the war swings one way, we report on it. And if it swings back the other way, even if it's negatively, you still have to report on something like that. And this was put out by Zelensky 13 hours ago now. It says this morning the Russian army struck a children's hospital in Kherson. They could not have been unaware of where they were striking. This was a deliberate Russian attack, specifically against children, against medical personnel, against basic guarantee of life in the community. The hospital sustained heavy damage, and sadly, there are injured among both the staff and the children who are being treated there. The youngest wounded child is 8 years old. The boy himself was wounded, as were his mother and brother. And at the moment of the strike, about 100 people were inside the hospital, and Russia is not even ashamed to consider such facilities as targets. Russia is now the largest terrorist organization in the world, which is not only dragging out its terrorist war, but also trying to do everything possible to ensure that no opportunity to end the war succeeds. Russia deliberately undermines every meaningful diplomatic effort, discredits those helping to protect life, and seeks to create new sources of destabilization in Europe to make it even harder and harder for Europeans to assist Ukraine. And this year, as the United States has made such significant efforts to end the war, the Russians have only increased the audacity and scale of the strikes. Nothing convinces Russia except pressure and strength. America's recent step was the right one: substantial sanctions against Russian oil companies. Such measures must continue to rein in Russia's brazenness, deprive it of its means to prolong the war, and create a real motive for Moscow to end this war. Terrorists must be dealt with only as they deserve, with strength and just treatment. I thank everyone who helps Ukraine. And here is just a little bit of the footage from that strike on the hospital in Kherson. Again, just another clear slap in the face by Vladimir Putin to Donald Trump, pretty much saying, yeah, stop this, motherfucker. You think you're controlling me? You ain't controlling shit. As Donald Trump's again out there touting this non-existent ceasefire that is just anything but a ceasefire, with what we've seen reported today, with what we've seen reported over the last, week and a half. I mean, it's just a joke for anybody, especially the mainstream media, to continue to refer to that as a ceasefire. But yeah, and then I think Zelensky put out a video as well I wanted to check out, because he talks about the dire situation, or I don't want to say dire situation, but the situation that could turn into a dire situation that they faced in, I believe, Kupiansk and in the Pokrovsk area as well. So why don't we say we take a look at this Volodymyr Zelensky? I don't think it's translated, so I might have to just, if you want, read out the captions for you. But here we go. Dear Ukrainians, we continue our sanctions work. We are preparing new sanctions, in particular against targets in Russia's military production and their propaganda. We must gradually block all global contacts for every Russian entity working for the war. Yeah, let me change the view so you guys can, in case you don't want to hear me read, you can check out the subtitles like that. There we go. The decrees will be issued soon. We are also synchronizing the 19th EU sanctions package with Ukraine's jurisdiction. And it's crucial that our diplomats and all representatives of Ukraine work more actively in European countries outside the EU to encourage them to adopt the common European sanctions as well. We truly value that Switzerland, Norway, and other European countries have upheld Europe's unified pressure to end the war over the years. Work has already begun on the EU's 20th sanctions package.
пакету санкцій Євросоюзу.
Not only the European Union will take new steps.
І не тільки Євросоюз застосовує нові кроки. Очікую на
I'm
детальну
awaiting a
доповідь
detailed intelligence report
розвідки щодо
on the impact of the U.S. decisions on sanctions
впливу рішення Америки по санкціях проти російських нафтових компаній
against Russian oil companies and the preliminary data.
і попередні дані доволі оптимістичні, вплив значний. Ми перевіряємо деталі і кожну схему, яку
We are verifying the details in every remaining scheme.
Росія ще використовує, треба заблокувати. І цей
Russia still uses must be blocked. Russia still uses must be blocked. That's probably a continuation from the last sentence. My apologies.
сигнал у світі має бути сприйнятий правильно. Росія повинна закінчити
Russia must end its war.
свою війну, інакше має закінчитись
Otherwise,
російський
Russia's
нафтовий
oil
експорт.
exports must
Я
end.
дякую всім
I thank all our partners who are exerting pressure
нашим партнерам, які тиснуть саме так дієво,
in precisely this way, effectively, tangibly,
тиснуть відчутно та напрямків, які
in targeting the areas that are truly painful
дійсно болісні для путінської
for Putin's system.
системи. До речі, сьогодні міністру закордонних справ
Today, I instructed the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine
України зосередитись
to focus on countries that were once destabilized by Russia,
на країнах, які свого часу були дестабілізовані Росією, які
that have experienced wars, interference, and are still
пройшли війни, втручання зараз досі у внутрішній конфлікт,
in eternal conflicts going through difficult times.
переживають важкі часи. Наші програми,
Our initiatives, such as grain from Ukraine, have helped many,
такі як зерно з України, багатьом допомогли і маємо
and we must continue our active humanitarian diplomacy,
продовжувати активну зовнішню гуманітарну політику і конкретно
particularly in food security.
в галузі продовольчої безпеки. Це
This is natural for Ukraine.
природне для нас, для України. Ми готуємо відповідні заходи
We are preparing corresponding events for November.
на листопад. Сьогодні детально говорили з
Today, I also held detailed discussions with the Prime Minister
прем'єр-міністром України, з іншими нашими урядовцями
of Ukraine, other government officials, and the head
та
of
керівником Укрзалізниці про
that place about supporting our railways,
підтримку нашої залізниці, про роботу компанії.
about the company's operations.
Саме залізницям
It
дає
is the railway that provides millions of Ukrainians
українців та нашій економіці
and our economy with the resilience they need.
необхідну стійкість. Я хочу подякувати за
I want to thank all our Ukrainian railway staff for their work,
роботу всім нашим українським залізничникам, всім
every one of the thousands of railway employees.
працівників, працівниць залізниць. Ви працюєте
You are truly serving Ukraine.
на Україну. Я вам дуже дякую.
I thank you very much. The company will continue developing.
Буде розвиватись. Ще кілька речей.
This is where I believe he gets into the situation in Kupiansk and Pokrovsk. So he says a few more things.
Детально говорили сьогодні з
Today
головнокомандувачем
we went over the frontline situation in detail
та начальником генерального
with the
штабу
commander-in-chief and the chief of the general staff,
про ситуацію на фронті, на
covering all
всіх
directions.
напрямках. Найбільш
The
складно
toughest situation is now on the Pokrovsk axis, the one that we've been repeatedly talking about.
зараз на Покровському напрямку. Там
As in previous weeks, this is where the fighting is most
в попередні тижні найбільша інтенсивність бойових дій.
intense and where Russian forces are most concentrated.
Сильне зосередження росіян. Окупанти всіма методами
The occupiers are trying to consolidate their positions
намагаються закріпитись. Кожен знищений окупант
by any means, every invader eliminated right there
там це результат для всієї нашої
is an achievement for our entire state.
держави. Ситуація
The situation in Kupiansk remains difficult,
в Куп'янську залишається непростою, але цими днями
but our forces have gained more control in recent days.
контролю у наших сил. Продовжуємо захищати позиції.
We continue to defend our positions. Dozens of assault operations take place daily.
Десятки штурмових дій за добу на Олександрівському напрямку.
In the
Кожного
Oleksandrivka direction,
нашому підрозділу
I
я
thank every one of our units for their fortitude.
дякую за стійкість. Детально
We also thoroughly worked through the planning
Пропрацювали також планування наших
of our long-range operations.
далекобійних операцій.
The
Єдиний
only scenario is to force Russia to end the war.
сценарій – це примус Росії до закінчення війни, так як це можливо,
By means that are feasible and that will actually work.
як реально спрацює. І це санкції
And that means global sanctions, our long-range sanctions,
світу, наші далекобійні санкції, наше відновлення
our recovery after Russian attacks, coordination
після російських ударів, координація з нашими
with our
партнерами
partners, and above all, support for our army.
і головне підтримка нашої армії, всіх складових
For
сил
every branch of Ukraine's defense and security forces,
оборони та безпеки України, бо Україна
because
Та-
Ukraine stands where Ukraine's positions
де українські позиції
stand
сильні.
strong.
Дякую всім, хто б'ється
I thank everyone fighting for Ukraine,
заради України, хто працює
working for our defense, for our state, for all of our people.
на оборону, на нашу державу, заради всіх наших людей. Дякую
I
всім,
thank everyone who is helping us.
хто нам допомагає. Слава Україні!
Героям слава. All right, so just a message, and I think we'll be probably trying to do more checking in on the updates here from Volodymyr Zelensky. You know, we've been doing a lot of taking a look at other great creators, but you know, it's really good to hear it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Sometimes time tends to carry a little bit more weight. So I just wanted to make sure that I played his response and to make sure that we're continuing to highlight both good and bad situations, and let's be realistic, let's be up to date and up to speed on the problem areas and where the most active and intense fighting is happening. So that's what we're going to try to do. But let's see here, just to kind of end this on a funny note. You know what I want to do? I want to see if the I've Had It podcast recently, if they have seen this Tim Pool video, right? I want to see if they've responded at all, or if they've put out a recent video, because there's no better way to get back at Tim Pool than to play the people he say he wants canceled, right? Let's see. I don't know. I'm not sure when their last video came out. I'm not sure if they responded yet. I'm sure they probably won't. Let me see here. Now, last one's about Zoran. I don't see anything about Tim Pool here. Somebody should probably point that out to him. Somebody should probably send them that clip, because I'd love to see them react to that one. Tim Pool actually calling for them to be to be canceled, to be banned, to spin and twist their words like they did. But what do you say we dive into just a couple minutes of this latest video that they put out about Zoran causing a mainstream media meltdown? Let's just dive into this one a little bit. Let me see if I can put this back to the beginning. Stop. All right, we're at the beginning. Let me put this on the screen for you guys. Share this. Put this on the screen here. All right, away we go. And again, this is titled Zoran Causes Total Meltdown of Mainstream Media as He Dominates Race. This was put out roughly 3 hours ago. Got almost 50,000 views. Let's see if we can check this out. And again, see if we can, two birds with one stone. Listen to the I've Had It ladies, and also piss off Tim Pool. Appreciate it. And anybody that's put in a super chat, a super thanks, sent in a Venmo, please stick around for at least another 10-15 minutes before that way I can get around to thanking and highlighting and giving everybody the shout out they deserve for contributing to the channel. I really do appreciate you guys.
All right, there is something happening right now across the nation.
There's something happening
that is coming to a climax in New York, and it is the Democratic Party. And the feeling that the base and even base adjacent people feel that the Democratic leadership are folders, not fighters, and that they are too beholden to corporate interests. And all of this is coming to a head in this New York mayoral race.
Oh, wait, is this the actual? No, it couldn't have been. There's no way Tim could have already made a video on this if it only came out 3 hours ago. I thought this was maybe the one that he was just playing. Maybe not.
And because Zoran Mamdani is so good at this, he is excellent at campaigning. It is breaking a lot of people. Like, they are completely breaking over this. They are saying that he's a jihadist, horrible Islamophobic attacks on him. They are saying that one night he went out and ate sushi with his wife for her birthday or his. I can't remember.
I didn't even cover that on this one, did I? I didn't even show this on. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can pull this up for you guys. I'm sure you've seen this, some of you on other channels, but I didn't get the chance to cover this myself. Is this the whole thing here? Yeah, let's play this. Let's play this. Did you guys get a chance to see this? And we'll hop back into that video if we got enough time. But did you guys see this bullshit? And apparently not apparently, but this was pulled down by the Cuomo campaign shortly after it went up. But did you guys see this shit? Did you guys see this fucking madness put out by the Cuomo campaign? If you haven't, check this out. This is an ad, an AI-generated ad put out by the Cuomo campaign. And again, it just uses every possible racist and bigoted trope to their benefit that they could possibly use, right? Check this out.
Zohran Mamdani's opponents want you to believe he's an inexperienced radical whose policies will make New York City more dangerous. But what do his actual supporters
So
think?
right off the bat, they got him what? Eating rice?
Radical whose policies will make New York City more dangerous.
Right, so they got him right off the bat eating rice. So that's like what? Racist trope number one.
But what do his actual supporters think?
Mamdani isn't crazy. He's just...
And now I'm still confused. Is that supposed to be Idris Elba? Because why is that like the only person in this whole thing that actually looks like a person? Like it actually looks like it's made to represent somebody. Like it's made to be like, did like Idris Elba come out against the Trump administration recently? Is there a reason why they're trying to like put Idris Elba in this? Is he against the Cuomo campaign? Not 100% sure, but it definitely does look like him.
Mamdani isn't crazy. He's just trying to even the playing field. You know, give everyone a fair shot. Sure, he said multiple times we need to defund.
Okay, here we're playing on the all too known and all too old the black people must all be pimps stereotype here, playing that up to a T, I must say.
The police, but that was just a metaphor.
And yes, he did say crime is a social construct, but that was also a metaphor.
His main backer, the Democratic Socialists' ideas are common sense, such as
Decriminalizing misdemeanors, like shoplifting. Third degree.
Like, why they got Idris Elba robbing stores and shit? Like, why you gotta do Idris like that? What the fuck did Idris do to you guys? Like, what's up with this? Why are they gonna make Idris Elba robbing fucking pharmacies?
Decriminalizing misdemeanors, like shoplifting.
The dude's a movie star. I don't think he's out there robbing pharmacies. Last I checked, so not believable right off the bat.
third degree assault,
Trespassing. Prostitution.
And
Jesus Christ.
drunk driving.
With plans to decriminalize all drugs, Mamdani will be a job creator for drug dealers. Instead of helping us homeless get off the streets.
What the fuck? How'd they get Mel Gibson? How'd they get Mel? That's crazy. I didn't know they got Mel Gibson. I didn't know the fucking Cuomo campaign had that sort of reach. Good to see Mel still acting, though. It's good to see Mel still in some roles. He didn't completely lose his mind. Now, I'm sure this means that there's a cross or something about Jesus Christ somewhere to come in there somewhere, but good to see Mel Gibson in there. Good to see. Looks just like him. Looks just fucking like him. Looks like he just stumbled off the Joe Rogan podcast and into the Andrew Cuomo commercial. Sorry.
Into the mental health facilities we need. He wants to give us safe injection sites.
It's not even good AI either. Not even fucking good.
Crack and let us sleep in subway carts. These are actual policies.
Oh, okay. A young black kid robbing a store. I'm sure that's not a racist trope at all, right?
Mamdani and the DSA want to implement on day one. When a woman's being domestically abused, she finally won't have to deal with some pesky cop to arrest the abuser.
Now, could they pick a fucking guy that looked like he voted for Donald Trump more than this guy? Right? Like, do they want to portray this as like this is all MAGA? I'm confused because this guy, out of everybody in this commercial, 100% voted for Donald Trump. This motherfucker definitely is on the Trump train. So I'm not sure we can take of too much of what he's saying. Seriously.
Now a social worker to help, kumbaya the situation.
Breathing.
Yes, elect Mamdani, and there will be absolutely no social workers in the entire fucking state in order to answer the phones. That's definitely one side effect, apparently.
Breathe out.
Mamdani is finally lowering jail sentences.
Guilty!
But Mom Donnie says you're free to go.
Who cares if legalizing prostitution statistically leads to an increase for sex trafficking of women and young girls by 70%?
You can't have safety without equality.
For unlawful abiding citizens like us, globalize the intifada.
I'm a criminal.
Jesus Christ. They literally didn't even go through this to fix the grammatical errors in it.
Abiding citizens like us, globalize the intifada.
I'm a
Intifada! Globalize the intifada!
criminal. I'm a criminal. I'm a criminal.
I'm a criminal.
Yep. I'm a criminal.
For Zoran.
For Zoran Mamdani.
Fucking Christ. Just insane shit. Just insane shit. And some of this shit is like, Cuomo, like a bunch of these young kids who ever made this in Cuomo's fucking camp or whatever, are like heavily influenced, heavily tied into the fucking like, Groyper, like fucking these like right-wing online chat room type of fucking tropes and shit. Like you can definitely tell some of that made it in its way in here. Unreal. Gee, I can't see why they had to take that one down. It's beyond me. Can't see anything wrong with that one. All right, we got about let's say 10 more minutes, and then I'll start getting into some thank yous for you guys. I really do appreciate it. Let's dive into a little bit more of this. I'm not sure. Let's dive into the clip that they play here, because I think they play a Bill Maher clip. Yeah, they play a Bill Maher. Let's see if we can put this on.
Really lazy takes I've ever heard on Mamdani. Play the clip.
Issue now that Andrew Cuomo is bringing up in New York is that he is a Ugandan citizen. Uganda is a country where they kill homosexuals.
So somebody who is a dual citizen can't be mayor of New York, or?
I would renounce, if I was the dual citizen with a country whose policy, the government policy was we kill homosexuals, yeah, I would renounce that citizenship.
You're a fucking moron. You're an absolute fucking moron is what you are. Like, how isn't that any way representative of like Zoran Mamdani's policies? Like, what the fuck does that have to do with him? Like, why is he going to give up and renounce his citizenship to his fucking country? Right? Holding dual citizenship. Why would he renounce that? Because of like, again, that would be pretty much like equating him to wanting or, telling him to give up his American citizenship because of what Donald Trump is now doing and the policies that Donald Trump is now putting in place. And because our government is now willing to starve 42 million Americans, like, should he give up and should we all renounce our American citizenship? Like, you see how fucking stupid that argument is, like, on its base?
And he also, I think that is buying into a fear framework that is not good. It's not good for the country. It's not good for the country.
You shouldn't be afraid of that.
And I think the way that Cuomo is closing out this race and really race baiting and really leaning in on
that's not right. No, you know what? Just because
I don't
it's
think that's
done
good for the country.
I understand, but just because something is done by people in Africa doesn't mean it's always okay.
Well,
but you said race baiting. It has nothing to do with race.
Oh, I'm talking about what Cuomo's doing, suggesting that Mamdani couldn't be a leader in a terror situation if he were mayor of New York and, God forbid, something else like 9/11
Well, he did campaign with a terrorist.
He did say, well, but Cuomo was pretty clear, I thought, in the way he talked about that, in a way that I thought was ugly.
Well, he campaigned this week with a guy who was an unindicted co-conspirator in the 1993 World Trade Center bombing and served as a character witness for Omar Abdel Rahman, the terrorist who organized it. So Sarah Palin used to say Obama palled around the terrorists, which was bullshit. But I just don't know if this is a great look for the party. I really
just
don't.
Say that it was the lead. Didn't he just say it was the lead witness in going against the people that perpetrated it?
Okay, let me tackle why this is so intellectually dishonest and intellectually lazy. Number one, his notion that Zoran Mamdani should get rid of his Ugandan citizenship because the government will kill homosexuals. I want all liberals across the United States of America to understand what happens in Bible Belt states. You have politicians that actively talk about wanting to kill homosexuals or sentencing them to death. Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, own pastor and his own church, has said these same things. But my home city of Oklahoma City has a person that works at City Hall. Kylie, put up the headline. Polite and friendly in his OKC job. In other gigs, as church leader, he says gay people should be lined up and executed. And look at the timestamp on that, everybody. May 28th, 2025. This isn't old. This is the emboldened MAGA movement. So by Bill Maher's logic, it's only these far off African or Middle Eastern.
I was going to say, there's a big dispute here that we could probably call out. There's a big discrepancy that's pretty glaring in this whole thing where, you know, the MAGA Republicans, the conservatives, and the Bible Belt tend to have a certain skin color, you know, by majority. And, you know, if we were to, I don't know, maybe look at Uganda, so to speak, for example, we might be coming out of that with a different answer as to what the prominent skin color would be. Maybe that kind of has a factor in Bill Maher's thinking, right? Not so much what's being said, but so much who's saying it, right? And how it could be used on his show. Pretty much what they're saying here, right?
Countries that want to do this execution style punitive treatment to homosexuals, when in actuality, those of us liberals that live in red states have been sounding the alarm on this year after year after year after year, that listen, these evangelicals and this megachurch culture where they dress it up with their shitty architecture and they have the dunk tank and they have the rock band and the pastor that wears tree
the dunk tank
religion jeans and has a stylist. Underneath all of that flash, there is horrific homophobia to the tune that they think these people should not live. And I encourage the Bill Mahers of the world to go live in a red state, in a suburb, and embed yourself in American evangelical culture. And you will find that they have everything in common with these other religious
Why do you think they love Russia so much, people? Why do you think that they're so greatly in support of Vladimir Putin and Russia? Because they're all fucking white, right? And they all fucking hate homosexuals and they all claim to be religious, even though, you know, religion in Russia is not anything even remotely close to what we look at or what Christians would look at here as religion. So they're kind of misled on that regard as well. But there's a reason that they're so drawn to Russia and Russia's policies and how they treat their citizens. You know, it's not a mistake. It's not by accident. It's not, you know, just happenstance that they're just like, oh, you know, we might as well choose Putin over Zelensky. No, they love that whole fucking aspect of Russia. And that's exactly why they continue to cheer for that and against Ukraine at every possible opportunity. But I'm going to let you guys go. I have to get cracking on a couple more of these videos that I have to do. So I'm going to get into thanking some people on the old Venmos. I really do appreciate you guys sticking with me. I appreciate your patience. I do want to say thank you to Dame Dog, my man. I appreciate you kicking in over there on the Venmos. You're amazing, brother. Shout out to you. I really do appreciate it. Nancy Hayes as well. Thank you so much to you, dear. I'm very glad to hear that your cataract surgery went well once again. You know, we're always thinking about you. Jenny Faye, moms, thank you so much. Another big shout out and happy birthday to Eric. Hope you're having a great one, my man. And thank you. Let's see if we can get into the thank yous here on the old tubes of you. Kicking us off today, Cool Breeze. Let's go, Cool Breeze. Congratulations. Shout out to you for being here for 16 months. Let's go. Crazy world we're living in. Amen to that, sister. Nance says, love you, Nance. I love that you called me Nance. My friends and family call me that. Well, now you have another group that's calling you that, Nance. All right. You got a whole nother group to look forward to that nickname coming from. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much. That goes for JD as well. Shout out to you, my man. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted membershipies. I do appreciate those as well. Let's see if I can throw those in the old swedge. No, I'm just kidding. Make sure we're reaching out to JD and thanking him for the 5 gifted. Thank you so much, Jim, as well. They want them nullified because Joe issued some preemptive pardons for folks like Fauci, etc. Exactly. No, 100%. I mean, I think that's pretty obvious, is that looking for ways around ways around of the blocks that have been put in front of the weaponization, right? Even the preemptive pardons, like they're looking for ways to still get their revenge on these people so that they have some accomplishment, something to report back to the base with all of this negative shit going on, which is exactly why you're hearing what you're hearing now, as far as the Comey fucking investigations and Letitia James investigations and, Brennan investigations. I mean, this is exactly what they're doing. The auto pen bullshit that you're hearing about now. They're doing anything they possibly can. So they know if they can start going after these people, that will give them almost an endless stream of news source, right? An endless stream of headlines they can use to combat the Epstein. They can use to combat the ballroom. They can use to combat what's going on in our geopolitics. So you're 100% right, Jim. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jenny. Let's go. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Happy birthday to my amazing husband, Eric. And again, once again, shout out to you, Eric. Happy birthday. And thank you so much, Jen, for the amazing contribution. I appreciate that. Chewy, shout out to you, my man, for the 10 gifted memberships. Let's fucking go, guys. Make sure we're shouting out Chewy. Make sure we're thanking Chewy, giving him a really big thank you for the 10 gifted memberships he's shouting out there. Thank you for Yvonne, too, in there with 10 gifted. Let's fucking go, sister. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for the 10 gifted. Jumping in here with 10 as well. I'm a grandma. Y'all know I don't care. Y'all had a sample already. Yes. I was picturing somebody in mind. I just couldn't put a name to it. And it probably was you, Yvonne, I was picturing while I was talking about that and that specific subject. But thank you, Yvonne, once again. Tim Pool's mom and dad played a stupid game called Hide the Sausage. Now we have to put up with his ugly mug. So in case you were wondering what she was talking about in the previous Super Chat, there we go. Here we go. Well, thank you, Yvonne. I appreciate that. Vinny, what's going on, my man? Shout out to you. Thank you so much for the 10. I'm with you, man. I used to live in Salem, Mass. many moons ago. Do you go back there for Halloween at all? Huh? Any trips back? You're probably sick of that shit. Jesus Christ. It's the people that love that shit the least are the people that are from those areas. You know what I mean? Every now and again, you get the odd person that loves it, but it's the fucking, the tourist rush and not being able to get to the store. I know in the town that I grew up in, there was minimal ways in and out of the town. And once the beach traffic came in, it was like you needed a fucking helicopter to get anywhere. So, Vin, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Shout out to you. Shout out to Wes as well. Only one way to end a war. Stop. Correct. I mean, no notes on that one, Wes. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, Laurie, as well. Shout out to you. Thanks, Brian, for keeping us informed about Ukraine. Yeah, I try.
Governments.
I'm extremely passionate about something that I care about a lot. Obviously, if you've been following me, if you've been following this channel for a long time, it's pretty obvious. So yeah, it's something that I'm not going to stop with, something I'm not going to give up on, and we're definitely going to stay informed, up to date, and on top of what's going on in all of these important subjects, and very much including what's going on in Ukraine. So thank you, Laurie. Shout out to you. Shout out to Jenny Faye. Look at that, my time of the month. Thank you. Congratulations on 13 months. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate your loyalty. Thank you so much for your kind contributions. Very a big shout out to you, Jenny Faye. Appreciate that. JD again with the Ray Bork and the profanity bonus at the same time. That's like a double dipper. That's a fucking double dipper if I've ever seen one. What's up, Mark? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you again. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. Please make sure everybody is shouting out and thanking the people gifting memberships to the channel. We're on our way to 1,000 memberships. We are. Hopefully we can add to our numbers, add to our relevance, add to our community within the next couple days. Hopefully that's something that comes to fruition as well. But Mark G, I appreciate you, brother. And Jenny Faye, thank you so much. Once again, rounding it out. Shout out to you. Great show as always, Brian. Hugs to you and all the Lobster fam. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. You guys have been fantastic, as you always are. I really do appreciate it. But I'll catch you Sunday on the main show. I don't know why we call it the main show. I just think because that was when we first had our show. I don't know. Stupid thing that I call it the main show. But there's absolutely no difference between any of our shows. So check it out Sunday. If you like tonight's show, you're gonna like Sunday's show. If you like Sunday's show, you're definitely gonna like Tuesday's show. So you might as well sign up. You might as well subscribe. You might as well hit the like button. Throw a comment in the chat. Let the algorithm know that you liked what you were watching. You liked what you were seeing. But as I always say, ladies and gentlemen, stay aggressive. Right? Stay loud. Stay proud. Stay aggressive. Right? Get out of your seats. Get into the streets. Find your nearest protest. Find your nearest rally. Right. Make sure you got your head in a swivel, though. Make sure you get the biggest group possible. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'll see you Sunday. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. It would be a great help to the show. make sure you're checking out my videos going out on the Dollamore Daily. Man, it's crazy to even say that after, growing up, listening to the podcast, watching the show. It's a pretty cool feeling. But definitely daunting. I will add, definitely daunting to have, a show, a channel of that size in your control, not your control, but, you kind of can affect the way that it goes. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I will see you Sunday. And again, make sure you hit that like on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. If you think you are, but you're not sure, just check. It takes 2 seconds. And if you're not, just hit that button, one click, no money, very free, all for everybody. Just make sure you do it. All right. Thank you to everybody on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, the whole 9 yards. Make sure you follow me on Blue Sky. Yeah, that should be it. I appreciate you guys, and I got to get to work. Let's friggin' go. I'll see you Sunday. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'm Boston Brian. This is Blunt Politics. I'll see you later. I managed to do this somehow at least once a week. Today's what? What's today's date? Today's what? Wednesday? Then yeah, how do you guys know my schedule better than I do? I don't know why I continue to miss days, but yes, you're 100% right. The next show is not Sunday. I'm a moron. There's no other way around it. I'm just a moron. The next show is not Sunday. The next show is tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. here on the West Coast. Thank you, Leon. I appreciate you very much. I don't know why. I'm all discombobulated. I'm all over the place. And yes, I'll be sure, Tiff, to make sure I get you those November Zoom dates so you can get those out to everybody. But thank you. What would I do without you guys? What would I do without you guys? Good Lord Almighty. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Good grief.
Yeah, you're drunk. You're drunk.
We always do about this time.
Where you going? Nowhere. It feels so lovely to be here tonight. What a beautiful out. Give yourself a round of applause. You're so lovely. Everyone's...
I'm standing up here bashing the living shit out of Nazis.
Refer to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small.
Hey, you got a little chubby going there.
For the rest of my life, I have the curse that I have little hands. Little hands. You know, they're just getting acclimated. You know what that means, acclimated? You'll have a group of Venezuelan killers, street gangs, occupying the town with MK-47s. I know that gun very well. I got that gun very well. I've become an expert on guns. Army manned the air. It ran the ramparts. It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do. I'm just an average guy who read public documents where the elite said they were going to enslave us and destroy America. And I'm not going to be like yuppies come and deny the threat to my country. I'm going to fight back. The big, fat, sloppy United States.